I have a parasocial relationship with someone I've never met.
Oh, oh God, have mercy.
Yo, you're right. Yo, you're right.
Okay then. Sharon, you go.
You're, I mean, I say as of right now, I don't have any parasocial relationships because, um, yeah, I can't, because I realize that this person doesn't actually know me. Then I just feel like kind of like a bit of a beg, like not, not to say like, yeah, if you do like this is personally, but like when I was younger, because I've been into like K-pop and stuff since I was like maybe in year 7, year 6. So I've been growing up like looking at these people that they can sing, they can dance, and because I've consumed so much of that media, I'm like, well, I've given them so much of my time. That means I know them because I spent so much time with them. K-pop is a industry which is based off of the fans' relationship with the artists, right? You can buy their album and you get little pictures of them, and then if you buy enough albums, you can win a fan call with them and you can actually talk to them, and it'll be amazing and you'll get to know them. They'll know you forever. I've been into K-pop for a very long time, since I was like in year 6, year 7. So when I was younger, I wanted to know my faves like crazy. I wanted them to know me, and I felt like by me doing all this stuff, like listening to music, watching their content, like I knew them. You know what I mean? As I'm growing up, those feelings start to like warp, and I just feel so like taken by this thing, and I'm like, you're free, like low key, like free yourself. So I just have now been able to have a distinction between like what when a relationship isn't like real, like this person doesn't know me. I just enjoy their music, their performance, and the way they look. Because like I'm not gonna like stand here and be like I don't find anyone attractive, but I just know that that feeling is not mutual. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. Yeah.
Anyone on the agree line want to say something about that?
He's out there.
Well, um, reading for me, especially at home, was like sort of an escape. So I think because I've been reading since I was a child, I did develop parasocial relationships with fictional characters. I'm like not on strongly agree because I feel like I've kind of grown out of it. I'm not like on social media like saying, "Oh, I own him or her." Like, like it's just fun, guys. Yeah.
Now that I think about it though, there's been times where I'm like, oh, that's my husband for real. But like I'm joking.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, because some people do take it seriously.
Yeah.
I like, they let their feelings get in the way of like when they're responding to people on social media, and they can get angry and stuff. But like with me, it's just like la di da, like it's just fun.
Both of you have kind of touched on like the media you've consumed and books you used to read. But what about like real life people, like maybe, I don't know, your followers on Instagram, stuff like that? Do you feel like you have a connection with those people?
Well, I think I'm in the wrong spot actually. So I've just kind of changed my mind a little bit. So I'm just going to stroll down here. But I think I'm guilty as charged when it comes to having parasocial relationships. So I have ADHD, so I kind of just roll through obsessions sometimes, and I have to kind of self-medicate through preoccupying myself with things. And especially when I was younger, I used to like be very invested, as many of you guys have mentioned, with different people and different personalities on social media. I mean, actually very recently I kind of went on Instagram and just completely did a full like cleanse of just removed all the followers and following of people that are taking my time up, and I know that are not healthy for me to sort of be a follower of. So I literally did it, I think it must have been 2 days ago actually. So I feel like it was on this end, now I'm here, and I feel better, almost like a weight's been lifted off my shoulder, that I'm able to focus on things that really matter. So
Do you guys, like, would you say that we have campus celebrities, like, at work?
What, like Enox?
I know a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was again bouncing off Sharon's point. Like so many different circles. For example, of being a BNOC. For example, you have LinkedIn warriors who are active on LinkedIn. You have those who are very like in terms of the creative space. You have those in terms of even just normal social space at university. Those on your course. So you can be a celebrity in your own space.
Social media makes me feel more connected.
I sort of have been making this mental case study of like social media and connectedness. But I feel like since social media, and especially recently with my personal experience, this is just like how I feel. It's almost like absorbing content and stories have kind of been in my opinion, like the downfall of like the reality of people. You know, like I feel like when I'm with people, being with another person, interacting with them, seeing their facial expressions, their tone, I think texting takes so much of that away. And then you add the whole stories and posting and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I feel very strongly here, because I feel like, God, if we had those phones again, it would be much better. But you know, it's yeah. I feel like social media is a blessing sometimes, but it's also a bit of a curse. So yeah.
No, I kind of agree with the whole idea that like social media, it's kind of like a superficial space. But I also like to think of the fact that growing up, I kind of had a bit too much time on like the internet. Now that I'm kind of grown up, I've kind of had to make a kind of development where I separate how much I rely on social media for those connections and how much I rely on like reality. It's just the way you kind of balance these out in like your own life and how healthy you can kind of conjure up these kind of connections. So I think, yeah, it's not the worst avenue. It's not the most healthiest.
The cost of living crisis has affected my access to third spaces.
Okay, yes, it's fine.
So going all the way on strongly agree. Why is that?
I didn't want to say this before, but like when I said that like my third space is the library, like sometimes I just find myself staying at home because I don't want to pay for the bus like to go to campus. I feel like every time you go out, you spend money, and like obviously you're not always in a position to spend money, so like you just stay at home, which is not always good for you. But like yeah, sometimes that's the only choice. Yeah.
Kyle, there you moved from slightly disagreeing to being on the agree side. Why is that?
Because like every time I breathe, I spend money. But yeah, like even the minor things like the bus fare increasing from like £2 to £2.90.
£2.90.
Yeah, like that's basically £3. Like you're paying £6.
You know,
Yeah,
every time you get on the bus.
Yeah, thank God I have a shuttle bus that goes to my accommodation. Cause chai.
I feel like I'm in a fortunate position because I have a part-time job. So if I want to go somewhere that's not the library, then I feel like I can afford it. But yeah, I see where you guys are coming from, like especially those who may not work or something like that, or who may just, you know, only have SFE. Like it's not really good that, you know, even just to simply come onto campus, you're having to spend £2.90 or nearly a £5. But I just feel like that's the way life kind of is. It's only gonna get sadder. Like, like you think that £2.90 is bad now? I bet you one point they're gonna raise that to like £10 or something. God forbid, though. You know, but.
I think there is suitable support available for students experiencing loneliness at work.
Why are all these questions always so hard?
We're all the way on strongly disagree.
Yeah, I feel like there's not suitable support for lonely people at work. I think it's something where you can't really advertise this university being somewhere that cares about other people, but you're not really taking active steps to help those people. So I feel like that's why I stood on strongly disagree, because it's not, I feel like there's just not enough done and there should be more done.
I think for me, like, I just think loneliness is quite a hard thing for an institution to tackle, just because like the idea of being lonely is quite like personal and quite embarrassing. I think you kind of see it as like a deficiency in yourself, like, oh, like you're not enough to have like people surrounding you that will like fulfill all your needs and everything. So I think if I got asked in a personal tutor meeting, are you lonely? I'm not going to say to a person I've met 5 times, yeah, I'm really lonely, like I'm really struggling. I'm just going to say, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, I was just in between both of your points, because I think the university can definitely take more steps, but at the same time, I don't know how much I would kind of feel like I would want an institutionalized kind of like network to help with like loneliness, because obviously I do appreciate like well-being and personal tutors, But at the same time, my comfortability, and this is a personal thing, often lies with like my peers or people around me. I think it's definitely something that loneliness, like you said, like, is personal. It's something that we can work on, people around us can work on, and the university can all work on. It's not like a kind of responsibility that lies in a certain like entity. It's like it should be kind of a bit more like a cooperative kind of environment, and that in that sense, everyone and everything can kind of contribute in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've never used the services or like had a desire to use them, so I can't speak towards their effectiveness. I just wasn't aware of a lot of the services we have until people have mentioned it. And if I'm not aware of it, obviously that's a failure on the service itself. Obviously loneliness has been like an issue for as long as there have been humans, but I mean, it's kind of like you can see that's kind of becoming more of an issue now. So I guess if you look at like what's different between the past per se, and I do think, obviously we mentioned it quite a bit, but third spaces, they're a lot less accessible than they were in the past, just in terms of like the cost, how like the wages have been stagnated for decades, but yeah, there's not as many places you can access that are affordable, that you can go, that you have like a deep sense of community, and I think things like that are quite good for making people like feel comfortable, they can get help.